Today's presenting sponsor of Gambling Mad with Norman Chad is brought to you by 24K Wellness. Not all nutritional supplements are the same. 24K Wellness makes it their mission to help you feel, perform, and live at your best naturally and sustainably. 24K Wellness delivers nutritional supplements based on more than 5 decades of experience. Premium gold standard natural ingredients with advanced formulations and rigorous quality assurance testing to create products that support energy, recovery, vitality, long-term health, and cognition for focus through stress, late nights, and questionable decisions. No promises on your picks. And right now, special for Gambling Mad listeners only, go to 24kwellness.com and use the code MAD24K for the absolute lowest prices anywhere. Once again, that's 24kwellness.com and use the code MAD24K. 24K Wellness Fuel better, live better. Tell them Norm sent you.
1 Super Bowl, 2 halftime shows. We are screwed blue. Norman Chad. Norman Chad. Welcome to Gambling Mad with Norman Chad. I am Norman Chad. Coming up on the program today, it's the 60th Super Bowl. Big game. I've been hacked on X again. Big deal. Blue is back. That is a big deal. Gambling Mad, as always, brought to you by Fritos, picked fresh off of Central California trees every morning, delivered directly to your local retailer every afternoon. And by the refreshing taste of Fresca. Fritos and Fresca, it's a meal. This Super Bowl, of course, is about one thing. The New England Patriots continue to ruin perhaps the best holiday on the American calendar. We have Belichick fatigue and Tom Brady fatigue, and they're not even there anymore. This is the second time in my life that I've had to endure a prolonged stretch of Boston sports greatness. Thankfully, the first one, the decade of the 1960s, I was too young to really be consumed by Boston Celtics hate. They won 9 NBA titles over 10 seasons, and I can still smell the stink of Red Auerbach's cigar to this day. Let's talk about Boston. Top 5 for obnoxious sports fans. Top 5 for obnoxious celebrity sports fans. Top 5 for overheated, obnoxious sports media. Top 5 for obnoxious, white, racist liberals. As far as the city itself, its top tourist attraction might be the replica of the Cheers bar. And if you're driving into Boston, you might as well park in Providence and then walk the 55 miles to Beantown. It'll take less time than finding a parking space in Boston. Anyway, it goes without saying that everyone outside of New England will be rooting against the Patriots Sunday. Let's take a closer look at the situation over at the big map. Let's take an in-depth look of how the U.S. is divided in terms of the Seahawks and Patriots supporters. Patriot supporters concentrated in what is called New England, 6-state area up here. Not sure which states they are, Rhode Island and some others. About 15 million people, most with a funny accent. Aside from that, there's just other 2 small pockets of Patriots fans. All the way out in Santa Monica, California, Sonny McLean's Irish Pub, a famed Patriots bar. And back on the East Coast in North Carolina, that is where Drake May was born. That is where Drake May's parents, Mark and Amy, still reside. That is the other pocket of Patriot support. Elsewhere, take a look. Seattle, everywhere you look on the continental United States, they will be supporting the Seahawks. It even extends beyond the mainland. Alaska, all Seattle. Hawaii, 117 islands, all Seattle. And my sources and friends in Cuba tell me that there are a lot of anti-Patriots bars in Havana. In particular, the Cubans don't like capitalists much. Robert Kraft, it's a message. No traffic and weather this weekend on the 5s in deference to the Super Bowl holiday. Back to the desk. The Seahawks are a 4.5-point favorite over New England. I am going to give the 4.5 points. But I really don't care about the bet that much. I don't care if the Seahawks win by 400 points or by 40 points or by 4 points or by half a point or by executive order of the Crown Prince of Iran, just so long as they are declared Super Bowl champions. Three other things interest me greatly about this Super Bowl. Let's talk about Jim McIngvale, better known as Mattress Mac, maybe my favorite gambler of all time. The furniture store magnate from Houston is one of the best marketers this side of P.T. Barnum. He just spent $2 million on the Patriots. He just spent a $2 million wager on the Patriots on the money line at Caesars Sportsbook. The Patriots are plus 200 if they win. Mattress Mac will net $4 million. But that's not the story. The story is his continuation of marketing genius. If you go into one of Mattress Mac's gallery furniture stores in Houston and spend at least $4,000, you get your money back if the Patriots beat the Seahawks. I love the moxie and brilliance of this promotion. If the Patriots lose and Mattress Mac loses his $2 million wager, he still gets the benefit of the massive additional business and the massive additional free advertising. Of course, he doesn't want to lose the $2 million, but it builds his customer base and it builds his store's exposure. If the Patriots win, Mattress Mac refunds all the money to anyone who spent at least $4,000 or more at the store. And he can easily afford this write down on his bottom line because of his $4 million profit on the Super Bowl. He often does these big hedges on Houston sports teams. He's just the best sports marketer since, or any type of marketer since P.J. Barnum. Most famously in 2022, he bet about $10 million over the course of the season on the Houston Astros winning the World Series. The Astros won, and he ended up collecting $75 million. That year, he offered double money back on purchases over $3,000 if the Astros won. Good for Mattress Mac. Good for his customers. What a win-win. Here at Gambling Mad, we're introducing a lose-lose promotion. If you watch or listen to our February 27th show, that means you have to watch or listen to our February 27th show. If you don't watch or listen to our February 27th show, that means you have to take me to lunch. Classic lose-lose. Certain restrictions apply.
Yum.
Fanatics Sportsbook will have a Kendall Jenner commercial Super Bowl Sunday. Kendall has bet $1 million on the Patriots on the money line. The ad will make fun of the so-called Kendall curse. I happen to be a PhD in the Kendall, or actually the Kardashian curse. Many of the Kardashian gals are fond of dating professional athletes, and about every athlete who partakes in the sweet juices of the Kardashian dynasty ends up in massive career decline, whether it's injuries or being traded or suddenly playing horribly or even being run out of your sport. Remember Raiders of the Lost Ark? If you put your hands on that Lost Ark, you went up in flames. Apparently, the Kardashian jewels result in a similar fate. So for those of you who have not followed this, and tragically I have, let me review the Kardashian scorecard for you. Kendall has dated NBA players Jordan Clarkson, Blake Griffin, Chandler Parsons, Kyle Kuzma, D'Angelo Russell, Ben Simmons, and Devin Booker. So far, pretty much only Devin Booker has survived. Khloe Kardashian dated Rashad McCants, Matt Kemp, Rick Fox, James Harden, Tristan Thompson, and was married to Lamar Odom. Kim Kardashian has dated Odell Beckham Jr., Miles Austin, Reggie Bush, and was married to Chris Humphries. With going into details, those are a lot of fallen bodies there. Heck, I once turned down a lunch meeting with the late Robert Kardashian because I just didn't trust it. Let's talk about Super Bowl prop bets. There's always some really fun, unusual prop bets to consider. For instance, will the final score of the game be a unique score never seen before in NFL history? They keep track of that stuff. That's plus 2,200. If you think that's going to happen, a $100 bet will win you $2,200. Will there be a punt return touchdown? If you say yes, and it happens, a $100 bet gets you $900. As always, you can bet on the color of the Gatorade dumped on the winning coach. Orange right now is plus 225. Blue is plus 260. Speaking of blue, Blue is back this week. She'll be at the end of the show. She'll join us on the rant. She had a torn ACL. She's not 100%, so she won't talk at all, and she might not jump on or off the couch. But Blue is back. Anyway, the Super Bowl, the game's going to be played in Santa Clara, right near San Francisco. You can bet on what Bay Area landmark will be shown first on the telecast. If you feel like gambling, go with Alcatraz Island. That's plus 550. The Golden Gate Bridge is the heavy favorite at minus 1,000. That means you've got to risk $1,000 to win $100. But the only prop bet I ever consider is always the same: the pregame coin toss. Why the coin toss? If you're right, heads or tails, you can sit back with a profit in your pocket and enjoy the game. If you're wrong, you still have time to make another prop bet to try to get you back to even for the day. Why else do I pick the coin toss? Because chances are, listen carefully, chances are it's going to be tails. Is it going to be tails all the time? Of course not. But it will be tails more than heads. So if you stay with my system, if you stay with this system over the course of your entire lifetime, you will carve out a small, handsome payday that you can take to your gravesite. Trust me on this. Coin tosses are my absolute specialty. In the long run, of course, it should be a 50-50 proposition, but it's not. I can't exactly tell you why. It's just one of the mysteries of life, like the earth inexplicably being flat. In 59 Super Bowls so far, tails is beating heads 31-28. That tracks with my own extensive personal experience. If you toss a coin 10 times, 100 times, or 1 million times, tails will always come up just a little bit more than heads. I have spent my entire life testing this, which accounts for my lack of career achievement otherwise. Heck, let's do it right now, okay? I'm going to flip this quarter. 2016 quarter, not my favorite year. I'm going to flip this quarter 10 times. It's not going to be 5 and 5, I guarantee you. Let's do it 10 times. Tails. Heads, by the way, I'm not lying about this stuff. Heads. That's 1-1. Heads, 2-1. Tails, 2-2. Tails, 3-2 tails. 4-2 tails. 4-3. 5-3 tails. 6-3 tails. You think I'm making this stuff up? Heads. 6-4. There you go. I encourage you to try this at home. Penny, nickel, dime, quarter, half dollar, candy, silver dollar. You want to do a larger sample size? Do it 1,000 times before you go to sleep. I've done it. I'm an insomniac, so it's never a problem. Good luck. The NFL has had the so-called Rooney Rule forever. Essentially window dressing to make sure every team interviews at least one minority candidate before it hires a white guy as its head coach. The Rooney Rule. 10 head coaching openings this offseason in the NFL. No blacks landed a job. Maybe they always show up late for the interview. Yeah, none of my black friends are ever on time. 10 openings, producing 9 white guys, plus a Lebanese descent white fella who counts as a minority. At the moment, the NFL has 3 black head coaches out of 32 openings, jobs. D'Amico Ryan with the Houston Texans, Todd Bowles with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Aaron Glenn with the New York Jets. Frankly, I was surprised Glenn did not get axed this offseason. And knowing the Jets, it's very possible he will be let go before I am done recording this podcast. So, how do you get hired as a head coach in the National Football League? 1, and we've mentioned this already, It pays to be white. This has generally been the rule in these United States since 1776, so you can't blame the NFL for towing the line. 2, it pays to have good NFL lineage and genealogy. 2 sets of brothers now, head coaches in the NFL. Jim Harbaugh with the Chargers, John Harbaugh with the Giants, Matt LaFleur with the Packers, and now little bro Mike LaFleur with the Cardinals. And how about this? The Cowboys, Brian Schottenheimer, son of longtime NFL coach Marty Schottenheimer. The Raiders, Clint Kubiak, son of longtime NFL coach Gary Kubiak. The 49ers, Kyle Shanahan, son of longtime NFL coach Mike Shanahan. The Titans, Mike Callahan, son of former Raiders coach Bill Callahan. The Rams, Sean McVay, is the grandson of former Giants coach John McVay. Some might say these gentlemen have, maybe they are genetically predisposed to become NFL head coaches. And some might say it's simply nepotism. By the way, I'm sure glad I wasn't a nepo baby. My dad worked for the Internal Revenue Service. And the number 3 way to become an NFL head coach, believe it or not, your first name. That's right, your name. That's all. You're not seeing a lot of Melvin Kaminsky's or Luciano Pavarotti's running an NFL team. They like strong, short, masculine monikers like Dave and Zach and Nick. We have a shortage of Johns right now. John, the most popular first name for an NFL coach in history, followed closely by Bill and Mike. As far as Norman goes, only one, Norm Van Brocklin, Vikings and Falcons coach in the 1960s and 70s. Only in the 100-year history of the NFL, only one head coach named Norman, and he didn't have a good record. 66 wins, 100 losses, 7 ties, no playoff appearances. And yes, he was known as Norm, even though his first full name was Norman. If your first name is Norman, we're pretty good. We're pretty good in the actuarial field, and I believe teaching and counseling, an occasional architect, perhaps, and of course, whatever it is I do. Time for D-Gen's Gonna D-Gen, and we're going to combine it with our quote of the week for the first time ever. Pretty fancy. New York Giants co-owner Steve Tisch. His name reportedly appeared more than 440 times in the latest Jeffrey Epstein files released by the government. The Athletic published several email exchanges in which Epstein connected Tisch with numerous women. Guy stuff. No biggie if it did involve underage girls or similar criminal activity. The NFL says it will review the Epstein-Tisch communications to see if it violated the league's personal conduct policy. Which brings us to our quote of the week. The 76-year-old Tisch released a statement that read, quote, "We had a brief association where we exchanged emails about adult women. And in addition, we discussed movies, philanthropy, and investments. I did not take him up on any of his invitations and never went to his island." All right, folks, let me go to my, we got a replay review on quotes. If Tisch had just said, "We had a brief association where we exchanged emails about women," and then mentioned that he never went to the island, I wouldn't have blinked an eye. But he insisted on throwing in addition, we discussed movies, philanthropy, and investments. And with that, my bullshit meter was clicking off the charts. Yeah, they also discussed movies, philanthropy, and investments. Maybe this is the 21st century version of, I get Playboy for the articles. Movies, philanthropy, and investments. Maybe Epstein and Tisch discussed investing in a movie with a philanthropical storyline. If you want to have sex and you want to pay for it, go right ahead. Tip generously. Okay? The other stuff, why, Mr. Tisch, why are you screwing us with us that way? He brings up philanthropy, and now I just figure he's guilty of things we don't even know about. Yeah, okay, myself, I killed my brother-in-law the other night, but, we also had a pretty good debate on whether Sinners is best picture material, and before I hacked his head off, he told me why he likes New York pizza better than Chicago-style pizza. Please, D-Gen's gonna D-Gen. Regrettably, I must now clarify something. involving last week's a trivia question. The question and answer we gave you were correct. The Mariana Trench in the Western Pacific is the deepest part of the ocean in the world. The question was, how deep does it go? The answer, 6.825 miles. Now, during the show, I asked one of our key production people, young Asher Friedberg, to take a guess. His guess was in feet, not miles, and that threw me off. And I thought he said 4,500 feet, which would be a terrible guess. So I mocked him. Yeah, on occasion, I will mock somebody. But it turns out he actually said 45,000 feet, which is a decent guess. That's less than 9,000 feet, or less than 2 miles from the correct answer. So let me sincerely and publicly apologize to Asher at this moment. And let me be absolutely clear that this unfortunate misunderstanding is never, ever to be brought up again, anywhere, anytime, period. We move on. And here is Asher Friedberg. Here at Gambling Mad, we try to hire the best and the brightest. We do have budgetary limitations, however, and we end up with Asher. He's a good kid, though.
I'm all right. So today we're doing a new segment, right, Norm?
We're doing a new segment, yes. And what would that be?
So I believe we're calling this Generation Gap, if I'm not mistaken.
Is there a generation gap, say, between you and me?
There might be a small one.
Okay.
There might be a little one.
Sure.
So I'm going to ask you this. I'm having Norm go to this completely blind. Have you heard the Dr. Pepper jingle?
An old Dr. Pepper jingle, yes. I'm trying to remember it. If there's a new one, no.
Okay, that's so good. Okay, so there's this new one. It's by this artist on TikTok. Goes by the name of Romeo, and I'm going to show you right now, and it'll be on screen.
I have a theme song for Dr. Pepper, and it goes like this. Dr. Pepper, baby, is good and nice. Doo-doo-doo.
So that went viral. It has 125 million views on their account alone. And I believe you're going to be seeing that during the Super Bowl because Dr. Pepper has picked it up for an official commercial. They're using their voice and lyrics entirely.
Well, I guess it's appropriate for Sunday because it sounded like a gospel. It was about 6 words.
It's good and nice.
Wow, it's smooth. It's the new Dr. Pepper.
It is. And now what's coming actually is tons of people after seeing this and how successful they were, they're doing their own jingles for all these little companies. Or not even little companies, little jingles for big companies. So, for example, I've seen a few that are being picked up by like Bounty or like Goldfish Crackers. I've seen people just putting out anything now. So I think you should look into doing one for Fritos and or Fresca.
Yes, so far I don't have a jingle and whatever I've done has done nothing. So Fritos and Fresca, either together or separate. That's a good idea.
You have the lyrics already. You just got to find the tune.
Oh, I do have the lyrics.
You
I
got
gotta
the
find
lyrics.
tune.
Yeah.
Oh, the tune's so hard. I got no musical abilities.
You know, look, Romeo is very talented, as we can see. But I do think that we have what it takes here to get a tune to Fritos and Fresca. It's a meal.
All right. I wish it was for feta because I always say, everything is better with feta. But we'll work on it's a meal.
Let's get you into the Greek cheese market.
We'll start with Fritos and Fresca, though. I like it.
Fritos and Fresca. It's a meal.
For the second time in the last 5.5 years, my Twitter/X account has been hacked. Maybe that doesn't sound so bad, but it's not so good. The first time around, the hackers ran a charity scam under my account's name, and a lot of people sent money via Venmo that they never could recover. That's wire fraud right there, a federal crime. The hackers were never found out, and it took me more than a month to regain access to my account, which was severely compromised and has never been the same. This time, the hackers took over my account and started posting photos of a new car and a new house I supposedly bought with crypto earnings. I can't even spell crypto, so at least some of my followers knew that something was not kosher. I have now started the long, frustrating process of trying to retrieve my account by contacting X. Here was the reply I received from X support. Quote, "We're writing to let you know that we're unable to verify you as the account owner. We cannot assist you further with accessing your account. For privacy reasons, we can't provide any information about the account's registered email address and phone number. We understand it's frustrating to get locked out of an account. We appreciate your understanding. You're more than welcome to create a new account to get back on X, end quote. Let's review this nightmare. The hacker is posting under my name. I no longer have access to my own account because the hacker has changed the password, phone number, and email address associated with the account. I pay the platform extra to be a verified account, the check mark, but X tells me that they can't verify me, and I am welcome to start another account. I believe God is somehow testing me here, and I don't even believe in God. To be sure, we're talking identity theft and or impersonation now, both federal crimes. Unauthorized access to someone else's social media account violates federal law under the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. But X says, we don't know who you are. Sure, there must be a record of your original account sign up and general information and the money that you pay the platform annually. No, but we don't know who you are. I might get my damaged account back in several weeks if I am lucky, and the hackers likely will walk away without consequence. Footnote to all this, though my legal team says I should skip this footnote, if you see me talking and it's muted, try to read my lips. I am 90 to 95% sure that the hackers the first time around would have been individuals affiliated with Barstool Sports. Maybe someone at Barstool, maybe a Barstool operative, maybe just an overzealous stoolie. The hacking had all the earmarks of how Barstool, often in the past, acted against its critics. The level and quality of damage done to my account the first time around, I'm told by my tech-savvy friends, is remarkable. Someone knew exactly what they were doing, and they did it quite well. If none of this is Barstool related, I apologize, and I guess they can sue me. I don't have much. Barstool Sports, or as I call them, Barstool Sample, has been crushing me for years. I guess it's time for me to wave the white flag. I can't beat them. They win. They are bigger and stronger and meaner. I'm just David. They are Goliath, and I don't even have a slingshot. All I've got, Fritos and Fresca. SOS. 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 Please. Before we wrap up, I'm going to say this one time and one time only. One Super Bowl, 2 halftime shows. We are screwed blue. America's ongoing cultural and political civil war now extends to Super Bowl entertainment. On NBC, the official Super Bowl halftime show will headline Bad Bunny. Meanwhile, on YouTube and X, there will be a protest halftime show headlining Kid Rock. This will be produced by Turning Point USA, founded by the late Charlie Kirk. TP USA is unhappy with the nature of the official NFL halftime offering. Yes, one show for the left, one show for the right. I don't care for either, so I will be in the middle of a Vito's Pizza from La Cienega Boulevard here in Los Angeles. But how did we get here? I could do a 4-hour one-man show answering that question and still never figure it out. Super Bowl halftime always has attracted the biggest names: Michael Jackson, Madonna, Katy Perry, Bruno Mars, Lady Gaga, Prince, and Beyonce. No fuss, no muss, no stress, no mess. But now it's a holy war because we are out of our ever-loved minds. Way back when, like the 60s and the 70s, on 5 different Super Bowl halftimes, we saw the musical group Up With People. If Up With People were to perform this year, there would be a competing halftime show featuring Down With People. America, it's been fun while it lasted. That will do it for another edition of Gambling Mad with Norm and Chad. Hope to see you again next time. And remember, if you're gonna roll the dice, make sure they're loaded.
Today's presenting sponsor of Gambling Mad with Norm and Chad is brought to you by 24K Wellness. Not all nutritional supplements are the same. 24K Wellness makes it their mission to help you feel, perform, and live at your best naturally and sustainably. 24K Wellness delivers nutritional supplements based on more than 5 decades of experience. Premium gold standard natural ingredients with advanced formulations and rigorous quality assurance testing to create products that support energy, recovery, vitality, long-term health, and cognition for focus through stress, late nights, and questionable decisions. No promises on your picks. And right now, special for Gambling Mad listeners only, go to 24kwellness.com and use the code MAD24K for the absolute lowest prices anywhere. Once again, that's 24kwellness.com and use the code MAD24K. 24K Wellness, fuel better, live better. Tell them Norm sent you.
Enough with the Olympics. If they were held in my backyard, I would sell my home. I ain't watching Mike Tirico giving me tidbits on Belarus for 16 days. What's to watch? Athletes cheating at sports no one in America cares about? Here are the 16 sports in this year's Winter Games from Milan. Tell me which ones you have ever competed in. Alpine skiing, biathlon, bobsled, cross-country skiing, curling, figure skating, freestyle skiing, ice hockey, luge, Nordic combined, short track, speed skating, skeleton, ski jumping, ski mountaineering, snowboard, speed skating. Let me repeat these 16 sports and tell me which ones you have ever watched in a non-Olympic year. Alpine skiing, biathlon, bobsled, cross-country skiing, curling, figure skating, freestyle skiing, ice hockey, luge, Nordic combined, short track speed skating, skeleton, ski jumping, ski mountaineering, snowboard, speed skating. Okay, maybe you watch the NHL, but Belgium, Ukraine hockey? You get a better Nielsen number showing a Zamboni running over a carton of eggs on an icy stretch of road in Chautauqua, New York. You know they're going to try to shove figure skating down our throats. It's reminiscent of Red Lobster's endless shrimp meals with commercials. And don't get me started on curling. I watched the TV show Hazel when I was a kid. She was a housekeeper with a broom. What's the difference here? The difference is I'm not 6 years old anymore, and 1,000 hours of rifle shooting in the snow will drive me gambling mad.
Gambling Mad with Norman Chad is written by Norman Chad and ghost-written by Norman Chad. Executive producers are John Scheinberg and Rick Barrio-Dill. Produced by Norman Chad and Rick Barrio-Dill. Our associate producers are Bree Khoury and Asher Friedberg. And edited by Asher Friedberg with studio facilities at 360 Pod Studios, Beverly Hills.